It was sometime past midnight when I first saw the sign. Rest stop, 2 miles. Just plain white text on a green board, lit by a single buzzing light that barely pierced the dark. I'd been driving for nearly 8 hours, my eyes sore and dry from staring into headlights and blacktop. My GPS had long since lost signal somewhere between state lines and unpaved roads. I couldn't even remember which highway I was on anymore. Every turn looked the same, every stretch of road had that silent, breathless feel of something watching. I should have just pulled over and slept in the car, but I didn't. I saw that sign, and 2 miles later, like clockwork, a wide turnoff emerged from the trees. It felt sudden, abrupt, like it hadn't been there until I needed it to be. But the lights were on, and the place looked clean. Too clean, like a diorama of a rest stop rather than the real thing. Two long, low-slung concrete buildings sat across from each other. Bathrooms on the left, vending machine and a small lounge on the right. Between them was a wide courtyard with benches, picnic tables, and a flickering soda machine that spat out a can of Dr. Pepper before I even put money in. I didn't question it. The air was too still, no wind, no insects. The surrounding trees were thick and black but perfectly spaced, symmetrical, even. I noticed that right away. Inside the lounge, the floor tiles were off-white and waxed to a shine, but scuffed in strange, looping patterns. There were plastic chairs bolted to the floor and a stack of maps on the far table that just said, "You are here," in big red letters, with no actual map, just a blank grid. And then the music started. Somewhere from the ceiling speakers came a soft, droning mosaic version of Bridge Over Troubled Water. It played on loop, over and over, and every time it repeated, it played just a little slower, a little more warped. I looked around for security cameras. There were none, but I still felt watched, like something just outside the windows was pressing its face to the glass, smiling. The bathrooms were the only part that felt truly used. They smelled of disinfectant and stale air. I pushed open the men's door and saw rows of spotless urinals and closed stalls. A mirror stretched the length of the wall, reflecting flickering fluorescent tubes above. The hum of the light was deafening in there. I splashed some water on my face, tried to shake the growing sense of wrongness crawling up my spine. Then I noticed the sink. It was running. Not dripping, running. Full blast. But the water wasn't falling into the basin. It was falling up. Like reverse gravity. The stream shot out, the bent toward the ceiling, and vanished through a dark vent in the tiles. The sound was wrong. Too less water and more static, like a detuned radio. I backed out of there, fast. When I stepped back into the lounge, the lights were dimmer. I was sure of it. The vending machines had gone dark. The soda I'd set on the bench was now crushed flat, as if something had stomped on it while I was gone. I pulled out my phone. No signal. The battery was suddenly at 2%, even though it had been fully charged. I grabbed my keys and ran to the car, heart pounding, hands shaking. The parking lot was empty. I don't mean no other cars. I mean, mine was gone. I stood where it should have been. Nothing, just oil stains on the pavement. No tire tracks, no signs of motion. The whole lot was silent. That's when I noticed something new. A soft click, a distant thud. The door to the women's bathroom creaked open, and something stepped out. It wasn't a person. Not really. It wore a rest stop attendant's uniform, the kind with a little name patch that said Mark. But its body was wrong. Too long in the limbs, skin too taut, stretched like cling wrap. The face was like someone trying to remember what a human should look like. Eyes too wide, smile too flat, its head tilted in three small, jerking motions like a bird. I froze. It looked right at me. Then it raised one hand and waved. Slow, deliberate, like we were old friends. I didn't wave back. I turned and ran for the trees. My legs felt like concrete, but adrenaline pushed me forward. Branches scrapped my arms. I didn't care. I didn't look back. Somewhere in that forest, I swear, I heard it following. Long, slow footsteps, crunching leaves in the same rhythm as mine. And beneath the rustle of the trees was that same warped, dragging version of bridge over troubled water. Only now it sounded like it was coming from beneath the ground, deep and distorted. I stumbled into a clearing, and there in the middle of it was another rest stop. Same layout, same buildings, same flickering soda machine, and my car parked right in front of it. Only now, someone was sitting in the driver's seat. They turned slowly, and they had my face. It smiled at me. My face smiled at me. Not a quick glance, not a twitch of the lips. No, this was a long, deliberate, knowing grin, like it was waiting for this moment. Like it had practiced. The eyes were glossy, too wide, too still, like they didn't blink unless told to. I don't know how long I stood there, frozen at the edge of the clearing. I couldn't breathe, couldn't even think. My brain just kept repeating the same sentence over and over. That's not me, that's not me, that's not me. The figure in the driver's seat lifted its hand, my hand, and tapped once on the window. Just one soft, hollow knock. Then, without breaking eye contact, it leaned forward and reached into the glove compartment. It pulled out my wallet, held it up, and then threw it into the woods. It landed somewhere behind me with a muffled thump. I turned, involuntarily, just for a split second, to look, and when I turned back, the car was empty again. Door open, interior light blinking, but no one inside. I don't know what compelled me, but I stepped toward it, slow, hesitant, like walking up to a sleeping animal you're not sure is dead. I got within a few feet before I realized something was off. The plates on the car, my car, were wrong. The numbers looked right at first glance, but on closer inspection, they weren't English characters. Not really, just shapes trying to pretend they were. The kind you'd see in a dream, familiar, but off. I reached for the door. That's when I heard my own voice directly behind me whisper, "It's still inside." I spun around, fists clenched. No one was there. The clearing was empty, but the sky had changed. It was no longer night or day, just a low, flickering amber light, like the sun caught in an old film reel, skipping frames. The trees looked painted on, flat, still, like cardboard cutouts, trembling slightly in a non-existent wind. I turned back to the car and saw movement in the rearview mirror. A figure slumped in the back seat, long limbs, bent wrong. It sat too still, like it didn't know how to breathe, like it was waiting to be told to. I took a step back. The lounge doors opened again, across the courtyard, and there, under the flickering light, was the attendant, Mark. But this time, he wasn't alone. There were now. But this time, he wasn't alone. There were more now. 6, 7, maybe more. All dressed like employees. Some stitched on names, Mark, Susan, Brad, Mark again. Faces blank, too smooth, like wax figures half melted and reformed. Each one moved with the same jerky marionette rhythm. They began to walk toward me. in perfect sync. No running, no screaming, just calm, deliberate footsteps on the pavement. And then the trees moved. I swear to you, they peeled back, like curtains revealing more rest stops, dozens, all identical, laid out in impossible rows, stretching far into the horizon, all perfectly spaced, like someone had copy pasted them into existence. Each one had a car in front of it. Each car looked like mine. Each car had a figure inside. Each figure looked like me. They all turned their heads at once. I ran. I didn't care where. I tore into the woods, dodging between trees that felt they shifted behind me. I could hear them moving. Those attendants, I could hear them whispering, low and in unison. One word, repeated like a prayer. One word, repeated like a prayer. Stay. Over and over. Stay. 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 I kept running until the ground vanished beneath me. I fell, not down a cliff, not into water. It was like falling through space itself. No gravity, just vertigo. I don't remember hitting the bottom, but when I woke up, I was lying on the side of the road. A car honked and swerved to miss me. I rolled over, gasping. Guttural, animal. It was morning. Bright, ordinary. The sun stung my eyes, and behind me, the rest stop was gone. Just an empty clearing, no buildings, no pavements, no signs. But in my pocket was a receipt for Dr. Pepper, dated tomorrow, and on the back, scrawled in a handwriting that looked like mine, was a message. You never left, you just stopped running. See you again, soon. I don't drive at night anymore. I don't trust rest stops. And every so often, when I close my eyes, I still hear that song. Slower and slower and slower. Bridge over troubled water. And when I look into the mirror, sometimes just for a second, my reflection doesn't wave back.